I've been looking into studies on introspection, and essentially any study at all where people are self-evaluating their own mind. And over time, something has stood out to me. Any video I can find on the topic was all self-help motivational bullshit on how to make more money by training your mind to be more productive. They've even given it a rad new name for the bros: metacognition. But I couldn't find a single video of anyone actually doing it. As far as I can tell, no one has ever captured comprehensive video footage of a human conducting an introspective self-observation. Obviously, I'm no psychologist, but I do have experience interviewing people, and I'm a half-decent actor. Maybe I could use these skills, maybe we could use these skills in a way that is useful, right? Something real, something that could, I don't mean to sound too bold, but this could have a huge impact on the studies of introspection and phenomenology, and potentially put a crack in the very foundation of psychology as we know it. When do we start? Okay, so you want to start with a little body check-in? Yeah, that's great. Let's get grounded. That's a good idea. How do your feet feel on the ground? Big. What? I don't know, they're just big. They're just, look at them. Okay, how do your legs feel? Right, sorry. Normal. My legs are normal. Midsection? Mm-hmm. Warm. Very warm. Arms? Also warm. Head, how does your head feel? Sweaty, but also, I guess, wait. Normal? I'm sorry. Can we stop for a second? What? Can I only ask questions? That's correct, yes. What? Why? Yeah, well, I thought it was the best way to keep you from becoming too powerful. Because honestly, I got a lot going on right now, and I really can't handle, like a personality disorder or whatever. Are you mad because you want to say a statement but you can't? I don't know. Am I? Okay. Can we get started now? I don't know. Can we? Are you nervous? Oh, very. Yeah. I took an anxiety pill for this, and honestly, it's not really doing anything. I feel I'm more uncomfortable than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be like very relaxed. I thought this was going to be my most relaxed show. It's honestly maybe my most tense. I feel uncomfortable, and I'm really hyper aware of like how I'm talking to no one, how I'm not really talking to anyone right now. I'm talking to myself. And I'm also aware of like how I'm really hyper aware of like how fast I'm moving, and I'm thinking about all these things all at once. And it's hard for me to just sit here and think. It's really hard for me to even think about what my feelings actually are. I feel like maybe, I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm surprised by how weird this actually is. I'm also really uncomfortable in this chair. This chair is tiny. I feel like it makes me look ginormous. Do you want to get more comfortable? Am I allowed to do that? Oh, yeah. This is perfect. I feel much better now. Should I fix this? Hold on. Much better. I feel much better now. So, can I ask you a question? Yes, that's your job. Was that a fake laugh earlier at my joke? Yeah, it was. Wow, you're really you're gonna ask the tough questions, aren't you? Yeah, I mean, I think I think I do things. Sometimes I do things. I feel like I say and I do things in conversations that just sort of move. I'm sort of using acting skills, acting things I've learned to sort of continue the story of life, right? I think it's easy to go through life not knowing really like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm thinking so hard about what this is going to look like and what this is going to feel like. I'm thinking so hard about the effects and the double and like the shots. That this shot took me upwards of 20 to 30 minutes to set up. And I'm fucking exhausted. I can't think clearly at all. I think I'm having a hard time turning off the acting and turning on like just me. I think I'm realizing that it's really hard for me to just be myself on camera, especially when I'm trying to think ahead, to what else we're going to talk about. Is there any part of your life where you feel like you don't have to act? That's a good question. I don't know. At work, I have to talk to guests like on theme. I have to be like fully immersed in the theming. And so I'm often sort of just delivering things. I'm just sort of delivering lines, basically, pre-decided lines that work for different responses, different questions that I might get. And if you think about it, this is really kind of an improv, right? This is sort of an improv exercise. And I guess I'm realizing I'm just not very good at improv. What are you good at? I'm good at being me. I'm good at music. I'm good at something else, surely. I mean, I'm charming. What am I good at? I'm pretty good at video games. I'm not like world's class, but I'm pretty good, I'd say. And I am... What's your favorite game? What's my favorite video game? My favorite video game is probably Far Cry Primal. Not Primal, just Far Cry. Far Cry in general. Far Cry 3 specifically was one of the best games I've ever played. And that and probably Red Dead Redemption. I like free roaming games. Why? Because they are exciting. I can get lost in it. I can just kind of like, I think I like to escape. I think that's why I love sci-fi too. I love to just sort of escape into it, to escape to somewhere else. I love to just be immersed somewhere else that's not my life. What I found is that the more similar a world in a media is, the more I seem to resonate with it, the more that I'm able to immerse myself within it. I think that's why I love Star Wars so much, because Star Wars is sort of oddly reminiscent of Earth and oddly reminiscent of mankind. They are humans, but it's oddly reminiscent of our world. It looks close enough. It's similar enough to our world that I'm able to get lost in it, but still be immersed in something and escape my reality. My reality is often not great. Why? It's no particular reason. I think life, I think existence, and I think especially in existence within a capitalist hellscape like this, is going to be a little bit miserable. Think of it like a movie. Think of it like the Alien franchise. No matter how much fun and blood and excitement and all these other things that you pump in to it, into the Alien franchise, it's always going to be a huge downer, because it takes place in a world that feels so eerily close. Right? It's so close to where we almost are. I mean, and maybe we aren't, maybe we are, I don't know, but like the corporate hellscape and having to like work to be alive, all of those things feel so real, except they have an alien and they have technology that we don't have, but their technology looks shitty enough that it is somewhat realistic. It feels like, oh yeah, that's probably what our shitty technology would look like too. Are you scared of that becoming our reality? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Are you not? Well, you're not real. I guess that's an unfair question. I shouldn't ask you questions because you can't answer them. Does that bother you? She's so mad. What do you like about yourself? I really like who I've become. I've really grown into myself. I guess it's a bad way to put it. I haven't really become anything so much as I have stopped being things that I'm not. And I've stopped pushing. I got way too into the whole branding thing at a young age. I think I watched my brother attempt to brand himself, and that made me want to brand myself. But I only knew how to brand myself exactly like he was. So I think I've only recently kind of unlearned that, especially in my transition. I learned, like, I'm just Bex, and that doesn't really have to be a brand. I can just be me. I can just be a person who's cool, right? And especially when you think about how a lot of famous people, there's not really a lot of like famous brand. You don't remember Amelia Earhart's brand. You don't remember Agatha Christie's brand. You just remember her. You remember her work. You remember what she was. She didn't have like a logo. Amelia Earhart's logo would probably have been badass though. She should have finished that flight. So yeah, I think that I've learned that I don't need to be a brand, and so since I've stopped trying to figure out how to make a brand and how to market myself. I stopped trying to market myself. And I think that really helped me a lot. It helped me feel like I was just free. I just felt like I just had let go of a lot of really oppressive expectations of myself. What is expected of you? Like, what do you think people expect of you? I think there's like base level expectations. I think they expect me to be kind. I think there's a difference between, I think, expectations of like what they want me to do and what they actually think I'm going to do, right? I think people expect that I'm not going to kill them. They also probably expect that I'm going to be moody and weird and like overall generally talking about nonsense half the time. And I'm probably going to say a lot of weird shit for sure. Do you think that your friends think you're weird? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that I think I'm probably the weirdest person a lot of people know. Not necessarily in a bad way. I think it's a charming weirdness. I think people probably think it's a charming weirdness. But I think that, yeah. I mean, I know people who are weirder than I am. And I think everyone's weird. I think if anyone does think I'm weird, they need to grow up. Do you think you've grown up? No. No, I think mentally I'm about 23, 24 years old. And there are moments in time when I am kind of an adult. There are brief moments once or twice a week when I behave my age, and then pretty much all the rest of the time I think I'm mentally walking around like a probably 23, 24-year-old. Why? Well, one thing, I learned, I had a brief problem with alcohol in my early 20s, and I learned from an outpatient program that I was in that when you drink heavily, like really, really heavily, really badly for at certain parts of your life and do it for a certain amount of time, you basically, once you stop drinking that like heavily, you are mentally exactly where you were when you started. So like you have not mentally progressed in that amount of time. And so I often think about that whenever I think about how mature I am, how mentally mature I am. That it is possible that I am, I'm kind of crazy because I drank a lot. Because I drank too much and I maybe fucked my brain a little bit. and that I'm just a little behind. I'm a little behind on maturing, I think. I think that's very possible. So that's one. I think also I've just sort of remained young out of rebellion. I think adults, right? Adulthood. I think adulthood is a myth. I think it's a social thing, right? So it's a social contract. If it's a social construct, we've created it. So I think the whole idea of like being mature and being an adult, I think it's all a myth. I think it's just like, I think it's not you one day are mature. I think it's that you just, how much you are willing to learn as you go. If you're willing to absorb information and learn and grow, you are growing and maturing. And in that way, I have grown and matured. I've matured in wonderful ways where it counts. But where it doesn't matter, why would I bother growing up, right? With the way I dress, with the way I talk, with the way, I don't know, with the way, a lot of the ways I think about certain things. How does it benefit me to take all the fun out of my life and be an adult? How does it benefit me to have a grumpy outlook on things? You know, I've done that. I tried that. I really did. I really tried to grow up, and it didn't work. And I found that the older I physically get, the younger I feel inside. Should I check to see if my Taco Bell order is here? Oh, sorry. Oh. I was really hungry when we started this, and we also started this like 4 hours ago. So yeah, we're gonna eat a taco. You're just gonna eat through this now? Mm-hmm. But you can still keep asking me questions. Did you have a good childhood? Yeah. Yeah, I had a good childhood. I think, yeah, I think often my childhood was so good that I have trouble trusting it. That I have trouble believing that it was actually as good and just sort of generally protected as it was. I spent a not insignificant amount of time with strangers, with adults who were not my parents. And somehow I got through that without being molested. That's surprising to me. It's just, you know, that's all, you know, it's very surprising, and I count myself lucky, but I also wonder that if I ever did like hypnosis or whatever, that I would suddenly remember some horrible thing that happened to me that I've just blanked out. Does it bother you that you didn't know that you were trans? Yeah. Yeah, it does. I've had to work really hard to forgive myself for that. I've had to work really hard to tell myself repeatedly on multiple occasions that not everyone figures things out when they're kids. It's actually rare for kids to figure out things, you know? And I was also, you know, I was raised in a bubble. I was raised in a really Christian, like I said, protected environment that, you know, I just never knew. I was never told anything about gender identity and gender expression and things like that. I was never told these things. And if I had been, I think I would have figured it out. Were there any signs that something was off that you did notice? Oh, sure. Yeah. I was, when I was little, we went on vacation, and my brother's fiance, who's now his wife, she was the first girl that had ever been around besides my mom. When they all left at some point and I was left alone, I tried on all their clothes. And at the time I just thought, oh, this is just like curiosity. I'm just not used to girls. But like, why would I do that? Like, why would I try on her clothes if I wasn't interested in wearing her clothes? So I should have figured out something then. There's a lot of other things. There were so many, and hundreds of conversations with teenage boys, trying desperately to convince them that their dude logic is terrible, and that like these ideas that they have are problematic, and here's why. And not that I wasn't problematic. I was still raised a boy, and I think I'm guilty of the same things that most boys are guilty of. Oh, like what? Jeez. Are we gonna do that? We're gonna get into that. Like, are we? The first episode? Do we have to talk about it? Do you not want to talk about it? No. No, I don't. I was really shitty to women because they were so foreign. Like, I grew up in such a boy environment. Like, I had 2 older brothers, and my mom is a woman, I guess, technically. She was a mom, but it was a boy house, and she liked that. So I just didn't have much. The only exposure to like girl stuff would be like in my mom's room, in her closet, right? And I also, by the way, I never tried on my mom's clothes, and that's only because I don't like my mom's clothes. That's not a shot at her. Mom, there's some things that you wear that are great, but it's just not really my style. So I guess I just never really resonated. And, you know, like, she's my mom. Moms are lame. I would study women in a way that I don't think normal people do. Not in a creepy way. Maybe sometimes, but like, there's a scene in Some Like It Hot where the 2 guys, they're in drag, and they're watching Marilyn Monroe walk by. And when she walks by, they literally watch the way her hips move and the way her legs walk and the way the way she carries herself. And they're like, wow, you know, we could never pull that off. That was how I felt. I would watch my friends, Kristen Rose, Danielle Guido, Anna Johnson. There's probably millions of others that I would look at these awesome women, these, at the time, I guess, teenage girls, but to me, women that were, they're women now. The point is, I would look at these girls and I'd just be like, they're amazing, and I wish I could be like them, but my brain couldn't comprehend that. So instead, I would just get crushes on them, because I'm also attracted to women, so it kind of just got really confused. Everything's sort of blended, and I couldn't really figure out whether I was attracted to them or just obsessed with them or both or all this stuff. And I would like try so hard to just be around them. I would take any excuse. I think I might have dated a few people just because I could be around a girl. Like, intimately, right? Not like just like hang out and be friends, which I was raised in the Bible Belt. Boys and girls didn't hang out as just friends. And once I was old enough that I did like have friends who were girls, it was still really confusing. My friend Hadley, I stayed at her house often. I would house sit for her, and I loved staying in her room. I loved sleeping in that room. It made me feel, well, it didn't make me feel, it actually didn't make me feel so great. It made me feel shitty that I felt so out of place. And that reminds me of another experience that I had when at Christmas, one year, back when I was married, we went to my ex-wife's parents' place, and my family went with us, and my dad and her dad was sitting together, and she ran in and sat at his legs, like sat at her dad's feet, and as, you know, just sort of just be like cute or whatever. And so to be funny, I did it too. And everyone laughed, and we all said, oh, that's so funny. And then I got really, really sad all of a sudden, realizing that I had missed out. I had missed out on something that I could have had if I were just born with a vagina. If I had just been born a girl, I would have this level of intimacy with my father that I was denied because I'm a boy. How does that make sense? You know, how am I supposed to how's that supposed to make me feel? You know? Even if I wasn't a trans girl, even if I wasn't trans, that sucks. That sucks that I was raised in an environment that a lot of people are raised in an environment where a lot of boys are raised in that environment where they're not allowed to have that, they're denied intimacy. They're denied it because it's gay. How about we bring it back to like the present? What are you thinking about right now? What are you looking forward to? Right. In like the next coming week. I'm thinking about how... Oh, no, okay. Honestly, I don't... Sorry, I don't know. I don't know how to
Are you frazzled?
I am, yeah. I am frazzled. I'm frazzled. I didn't expect to get so into the deep end of, like, guilt. I feel guilty about...
Yeah.
I feel guilty about my actions as a boy. And I feel guilty about... not knowing. I think if I had known I was a girl, everything would be different. I would have acted so differently. And maybe I probably wouldn't have... I think that in some cases I wouldn't have had as safe of spaces to explore my sexuality or, any other kind of feelings that I was feeling, because if I had come out as trans, then who knows in Nashville what kind of friend groups I might have had, or what kind of lifestyle I might have been forced into. It's like, say, if I was forced out of my parents' house, which I don't think they would have done. I don't think they would have kicked me out of the house. But they might have tried to convert me, and then I might have run away. I could definitely see myself running away as a trans girl in high school. I definitely could have done that. But who knows? Do you want to end here?
Yeah,
Are you ready to end it? You ready to end this?
I think I'm a little bit done, yeah.
Okay. How do you think this went? How do you feel about this first session? Healing is hard. Healing hurts. Healing is hard work. And I think maybe that's why I'm just like kind of tired. I'm tired. I think for this first one, I really just wanted to like find a comfortable rhythm. And I think we got sort of into that. I think we'll get better. I'm sure we're probably forgetting something, but there will be more. We'll do this again. We're going to do this again. Yeah. Should I leave?